You look down, they know you're lying. And up, they know you don't know the truth. Don't use 7 words when 4 will do. Don't shift your weight. Look always at your mark, but don't stare. Be specific, but not memorable. Be funny, but don't make him laugh. He's got to like you, then forget you the moment you've left his side. And for God's sakes, whatever you do, don't, under any circumstances, listen to the nice guys on business. Go from where you are now to where you could be. Get expert tips to grow your business, to be more productive and more efficient, whether you're trying to build influence, grow your community, or make it rain. Best-selling author of Nice Guys Finish First, Doug Sandler, can lead the way. The Nice Guys on Business is produced by Turnkey Podcast Productions. Now, here's your host, Doug Sandler.
So we're actually sharing this episode on 2 different shows. The Nice Guys on Business, of course, you guys have been with me for 7 years and 1,300 plus episodes, and also on the Turnkey podcast, because I just realized this morning that our guest today is also a podcaster, because I was looking up her information online and I found that she has a podcast that she's fairly new at starting. So Mary Ann Robbat is a coach, she's an energy healer, and she's a practitioner. She's a podcaster, and of course, that means she's a messenger as well. With over 25 plus years in the energy healing and coaching business. She's the author of 2 best-selling books, including the recent Tollerra, Master Your Energy, Master Your Life. Here to talk about all things related to those things. Mary Ann, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you today.
I am excited to have you here too. And apparently my cat is very excited. As soon as I started talking, she started meowing in the background. So there's got to be some energy related to what we're going to talk about. So you straddled that line maybe recently, or maybe it's a long time ago. Maybe you can help me, between corporate and spiritual. And can you maybe talk about that for just a second, about how you got your beginnings in the world that you're in right now?
Absolutely. So after college, I went and worked in high tech, and I worked in there at 2 different companies for over 15 years. And really started to notice a couple of different patterns going on in the environment that I lived in. I did learning and development, culture, change management programs across large organizations. And what I noticed was that some people showed up every day with this big, high energy. I would call it personality, but what I began to learn, it was really about their energy and how they carried themselves. Well, other people had a denseness to them. And it intrigued me because I, of course, wanted to be like those big people that showed up and their energy was bright, and the way they came to work and what they got engaged in really helped to manifest shifts and changes in the world. And so when I had an opportunity to do a lot of change management work for one company, I went to a workshop in New Mexico. And it was a crazy workshop because there was no agenda. But at the end of 2.5 hours, people contributed what they wanted to provide into the world, like different workshops. And I found myself going to all these really strange ones, like opening to your heart chakra, creating a mask, connecting to energy. Like, these words were all like Greek to me. But I was so intrigued. I just kept going towards those kinds of workshops rather than the typical corporate ones. And what I started to experience was this opening, or this understanding that we're way more than just our physical appearance and our physical way of being in the world. And so it intrigued me to learn more about it. And what I did was I started to dive deep into this whole sector of energy, of spirituality, of healing. At the same time, I still ran my corporate career, and I was doing coaching within the company. I was, like I said, doing a lot of change management and cultural change. And I found that applying some energy tactics on a day-to-day basis really helped shift how my team and how I worked through a very, very challenging time for our company.
So what's interesting about it is, and then you came up with your own framework around this. Is that correct?
I did. So after about 15 years in corporate, I pivoted. I had triplets. And after I had my triplets, I went back to work for about a year. And I thought, you know what? If I'm going to be away from them, I only want to be away for small periods of time. And I want to do work I'm passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
So I left my job and created my own business of energy healing and coaching. And that's how it began. And after about 20 years of creating 4 different healing schools and working with people's energy fields, I really began to see that in order to create lasting change and massive shifts in our life in terms of what we manifest and how we want to live our best life, there's really 4 levels of work that we have to do. Most people work on either the behavioral level with therapists. Some people do a lot of energy work and just work in the energetics. But what I found is that when I worked with my clients on these 4 levels, like on the spiritual level, the energetic level, the physical level, and also the emotional level, that's the time that those clients made quantum shifts. Well, other clients only either came to me for only coaching or only energy work. So after I put that together, I decided that I really wanted to support my clients in the best and biggest way. So what I did was I created a framework. Coming out of business, you know how to do these things. So I created a framework and a systematic way to work with people within their energy fields, but also within their belief system to help them to shift what it is into what they wanted to create in their lives.
Where do you think, Mary Ann, most people, well, let's start with this one. Where do you think most people go right? Where is it that they go right? And then I want to talk about some of the areas where they maybe go astray, because I think a lot of times people don't connect the emotional side to, success in business. It's not just, show up every day and do a good job and everything will be great. There is a lot of emotional connection to the work that you're doing too. So where do people go right? Where do they go wrong?
Absolutely. Great question. So what I would say is where they go right is that a lot of people have an intention of what they want to experience within their lives, in their jobs. Where they might go wrong is that they don't know how to easily align themselves to that intention. And so one of the things that we talk about within Tollerra is once you have your intention, then you actually have to check in on what are your beliefs that will allow you to step into your intentionality. I'll give you an example. This happened to me years ago. I always loved Jaguars. Do you know the cars that are those big, beautiful, elegant
absolutely.
Jaguars?
Yeah.
Loved them. And one year my car broke down and I needed to replace it. And my husband said, why don't we buy you a Jaguar? And I literally felt myself feeling sick inside and saying no right away. And he couldn't understand my reaction, and neither could I at the time. Fast forward years later, I suddenly understood my reaction. I held that these Jaguar, these beautiful cars, were only for quote unquote very rich people or very successful people, of which at the time I was like 29 years old. So I was neither rich nor super successful, right? And so I didn't have a vision of myself being able to step into and own a car like that at that age. Maybe I saw myself by the time I was 40 or 50, but not at 28.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually couldn't even allow myself to go look at a car like that. So I think what happens for a lot of people is we want to manifest these amazing lives or these amazing careers. And yet there's ways in which we're not even conscious of some of the beliefs that we hold that actually hold us back from being able to manifest what we want.
Yeah, and that's a great example, and the use of the car is really a great example too. Most people, they're blocked. They don't feel like they deserve that. Now, they may not be conscious of that It may be little subconscious things that we do sometimes to even sabotage our ability to receive success. Any idea why that is?
I think because we've all grown up with cultural frameworks, cultural belief systems, family belief systems that get so ingrained in us that we don't even know we're operating by them or from them. And so what happens is when we're at these moments of making choices or decisions that allow us to get what we want, but we walk away from it or we go in a different direction, to your point, that's like sabotage. We end up sabotaging ourselves. And it's because everything within us is aligned to a different story. Mm-hmm. It's the story, it could be so many different stories, but we're aligned to a different story. So it doesn't allow us to connect in with that. The other thing to think about is that every belief we have and every thought we have has energy associated with it. And when we co-create out in the universe, it's about us putting our intentionality around out in the universe, but also the energy behind it. And if we can't hold the vision really for ourselves, we can't put out any energy into the universe to make that happen.
I want to mention a quote from Henry Ford, and then I want you to talk about it from your perspective of law of attraction and maybe some of the other modalities that you use, or even through Tollerra if you can, because I know of the 4 pillars that you've discussed. That Henry Ford quote is, "Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right." And, from a business perspective, we hear this all the time. Look, if you believe that you can do something and you can achieve something, you absolutely can achieve it. But I think that it goes so much further than that. So can you share maybe your perspective on whether you think you can or you can't, you're right?
I love that. And actually, I've used that in my training. So it's a great quote. It really is, because it's so simple, right? And when you get down to it, it really connects us to how we hold ourselves and our beliefs in the world. And how we hold our beliefs is where we wrap our own personal energy around. So if I thought I could create a healing school after just being in the business a few years, then I would do it. If I thought I couldn't, then I wouldn't do it. And so many people, especially people that I've worked with over the years, they get stuck or stalled out in their careers. One of the things I notice, especially for women, like they can get to director level, but when they're going to get to VP or senior VP or CEO, it brings up so many different beliefs that they hold, and also that our culture holds for us, right? And so what happens is people say, well, I'll either fake it till I make it, right? Like they'll take those steps and believe that's them until they actually feel it, or people will step away from it. So one of the things is that we co-create in every moment. And I think that's what Henry Ford meant by that quote, like whether you think you can, you will, and whether you think you can, you can't, is that we are creating our destiny at every moment. Every moment we choose to say, yes, I can, we create our ability to step into something. Every moment we say, oh, this isn't for me, or I don't deserve, or I can't, or I'm not good enough, or all of those enough kind of quotes, is we're creating our destiny not to have what it is that we're asking for.
What was the reason that you wrote Tollerra, Master Your Energy, Master Your Life? I know that you share your wisdom and your teachings through your podcast and through your coaching as well. But did you hope to reach a larger scale of an audience? Tell me what you wanted to accomplish.
I really did. What I really wanted to do is bring awareness to people around the whole energy conversation and spirituality conversation, because so many people that I see that are still in business, a lot of people are struggling. They're leaving half of their souls behind, right? Like they're showing up at these jobs and they're not really all there, or they're not really all happy. And so I really wanted people to learn how to master their energy, how to connect on a different level to what they wanted to create in life so that they can have the life that they want to step into. And not everyone can afford to go to coaching programs or have time and space to do it. So I thought a book would be a great vehicle to begin the conversation for most people. And in the group, I use tons of examples of what I'm speaking about so people can see themselves in the different levels and then understand how it impacts them and then do some work around it.
Share a little bit about your podcast as well, since that's an always evolving, ever expanding way to present your content too. And I know you're fairly new in that. I think what do you have, about a dozen episodes out right now?
Absolutely, yes. So this year was my year this year and last year is my year to bring my work more into the universe in any way I can. So I have coaching programs, I wrote the book, I do a podcast, and it's just a way to start to share with people a different way of thinking about what they can create by using their own energy.
I know you have a website as well that has many different opportunities for people to consume your content. What's the best, based upon knowing a little bit more about my audience? We have a corporate audience, or we have an entrepreneurial. Sorry, we don't have a corporate audience. We have an entrepreneurial based audience. Sorry, after 1,300 episodes, I figure you guys changed your mind on me over there. You have an entrepreneurial based audience. A lot of people that are kind of working their own thing, working out of their current job, trying to get their side time hustle to be their full-time gig, and share a little bit about how your podcast would fit into their world.
So if you go to my podcast, or even on the website under the Explore page, there's a lot of freebies. There's a one freebie called Energy 101, and it really speaks into how you can use your energy to help you to create what it is that you want to create in the world. And one of the powerful things about entrepreneurs is that they're passionate usually about what they're going off to do, right? Like, so they already have the passion. They already have the vision. Now, a downside is they're usually working by themselves, right? Like when they begin. And so they have to stay self-motivated and focused. And so using some simple energy techniques, like something so simple as every morning you set your intention on doing one thing within your business and showing up in your business in a certain way. When you set that intention, then you bring the energy in to create movement for yourself. One of the things I use a lot when I work with different entrepreneurs is when we request support from the universal energy, we usually get it. I told you I had triplets. So they're all in college right now, and they're all studying for exams and stressed out and all sorts of things, right? Mm-hmm. So when they have papers to write, they'll call me and say, Mom, can you help, align my guides to make these papers easy? And I'll say, sure, but I want you to do it as well. How we can use our spiritual guides to help us in life is by sharing with them what it is that we need to co-create in the moment, in the day, in the week. And then just making a request, please let this flow easily and effortlessly. And at the end of the day, you review your day and you see how much more you got accomplished or how easy things became for you.
Yeah, it is a very interesting mindset to take, and a very interesting position and tact to lead your life by. You know, your life can become easier by making your life easier. And I know that doesn't that it's like it's a circle that maybe could be confusing, but at the same time, a positive attitude or a positive mindset, even in the most challenging of times, can really put your brain in a whole different place to receive abundance rather than to repel or reject it as it's making its way to you. If you have a negative attitude, sometimes you don't even see the opportunities that are presented to you in your life. Really good spot to be able to get more information about Mary Ann's works. Head over to her website. I'll put a link in the show notes so that you can get a copy of the 8-page document, Energy 101, The Fundamentals of Personal Energy. And as I'm just glancing through it right now for the first time, there is so much truth and wisdom in even just the first page of that document alone. If you don't go beyond that, you will receive a wealth of information from Mary Ann's information that's on her website. So make sure you head over there as well. Any final thoughts to those in our community? I'd love to give them an action item, something that they can do. You know, they're experiencing the symptom of, I'm just not sure where to go or how to do what I'm about to do in life. I want to lead a more fulfilled life, a more profitable life, a more abundant life. Any action items that we can give them just to get out of the gate and get out of their own way?
Absolutely. Oh, that's such a great question. So the first thing I would say is, if you're in that question for yourself, like, what can I do next to allow me to live my passion, show up in life, do my best work? I would say two things. One is, and that's a little bit longer of a journey, is get clear on what you believe your sole purpose is in life. And then organize everything in your life around doing that. Because when we work from a place of sole purpose, everything comes into our lives so much easier. So that's sort of the longer range.
Yeah.
The thing that you can do right in this moment is to think about what you want to create tomorrow. What is it that you want to bring out into the world, into your business, into your relationships, whatever. Think about one thing that you want to do. Then what I want you to do is let yourself feel that it's complete, like that you've already done it. And then breathe into it being complete. And what you should notice is that in your body, everything opens up and relaxes. Once you open that up, what that really means is that you've moved any energy that could potentially block you out of the way, so that when you go to do that thing tomorrow, it will be easy for you to do it. And you've also been able to, if you can visualize it, then you know you don't have any beliefs in your way. If you can't visualize the outcome, that means you have a belief in the way, and you just want to tap into what that belief is and flip it around.
If someone was interested in getting a copy of the book that you put together, Tollerra, Master Your Energy, Master Your Life, where would they be able to get that?
It's on Amazon.com. You can also find the link on my website.
Terrific. Well, Mary Ann, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your intelligence and your inspiration with our community today. I know they'll get a lot out of it. I'm looking forward to hearing some positive feedback about Energy 101. I know that people will be able to get plenty from that document as well.
Great, thanks. And I wrote it with people that work in business in mind, so I hope you enjoy it.
So
and
nice
thank you for having me on your show.
My pleasure, Mary Ann. Thank you for being here. Nice Guy community and Turnkey community. Thanks for tuning in another week. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Don't underestimate the power of nice.